Alrighty, thank you. Hello, Addison, and thank you very much for joining us again for another Principal Spotlight. I'm here at Lake Park Elementary School with my very special guest here. If you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dave Smogor. I'm the principal here at Lake Park, and I am entering my 7th year as principal here at Lake Park in the district of Addison.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, and thanks for joining us today.
Absolutely.
So let me start by asking you, tell us a little bit about your background in education.
Absolutely. So I have been in education since 1999, I believe. I'm going into my 23rd year in the field of education. I began my career as a paraeducator in Darien School District, which was actually just not too far here from Addison.
Oh, great.
I was then a teacher for 7 years. I taught 4th grade. And then I began my administrative career, first in Troy School District, which is in the Plainfield Shorewood area. And then I was a principal in Plano for 6 years prior to coming to Addison.
Gotcha.
So kind of half and half between teacher and administrators.
Well, I'm sure that's great for, because you have kind of the balance between both, so you're able to really commiserate with the teachers as well as the administrators, right? So that's pretty cool.
It is, and actually I've played many roles beyond that too. So I've even worked maintenance over the summer. So I did a lot of painting in the schools early in my career as a husband and new dad. You know, we needed to make some extra money, so there were lots of things that I did within a school building beyond just teaching and being an administrator. So I'm pretty familiar with all the ins and outs of most elementary school buildings. So it's been pretty cool.
Very cool. Well, thank you very much for sharing.
Sure.
So then, what is it about Addison that kind of drew you here?
So honestly, I grew up in Bolingbrook, so not too far from here, but outside of my circle of knowledge, it was not very wide. So I did not know a ton about Addison prior to coming here. As I had shared most of my experience, I taught in Darien and then moved to the kind of far western suburbs.
Right.
So my goal was to move back into the DuPage County area where I'm more familiar with, and as I began my search, and Addison had some vacancies, and I applied and was fortunate enough to be welcomed into this community and this school. And have been learning more and more about Addison as I've been here. But prior to coming here, did not know too much about it.
Well, that's good, because now that and you know what, then kind of piggybacking off of this then, now that you've spent some more time here in Addison, what is it about this town or this community that keeps you here?
Sure. No, and that's it's an easy question to answer, and I'm going to try to do it without making it seem like my previous experiences were awful. But honestly, when I was in Darien as a teacher, that was my first experience in education, and the atmosphere in the district and in the community was very much a family type feel. And I'm still in contact with most, if not all, of the teachers that I taught with and administrators that were in the building at that time. And then as I moved through my career and I had different experiences, it's not like that everywhere. In returning to or coming back to Addison, it really returned to that feel. So not only in the school building itself, in the district, there is that connection, there's that focus on people as individuals, and really that emphasis on family and building those relationships. So honestly, that's really what has brought me here and kept me here. And beyond the walls of the school building in the district, the community itself is really, it has been pretty amazing. The families and the students in Addison, I guess to simply say it, the kindness that I've experienced here with the families and in the kindness and respect of the students in the building is nothing that I experienced in any of the other districts. It really has been a significant difference between my experiences. It really is. The kids here are so well behaved, so respectful, and that's a direct reflection of their family. So it's been pretty awesome. That's why I love it here.
Well, great. Well, thank you very much for that. And
For sure.
I'm sure families love to hear that.
Yeah, I bet.
So let me ask you, speaking of families, right? Well, let's hear a little bit more about yourself.
Sure.
Tell us anything you'd like to share.
Yeah, and that is family is that's my most enjoyable topic to talk about. So I'm a husband. I've been married for 22 years.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. And I have two amazing kids. So I have a daughter, Lily, who is 16. She's currently at University of Chicago right now,
Really?
doing a summer like a summer, not internship, but a summer class, and kind of getting that college experience at the high school level, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And my son Jack is 13, almost 14, and he's going to be entering his freshman year of high school this year.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it is. So both highly involved. My daughter Lily is on the speech team, so she enjoys kind of public speaking and
very
doing
nice.
these types of things. And my son is going to be on the marching band. So
Awesome.
looking forward to a big Disney trip for his marching band this year.
Yes, exactly. Gotta love those long distance band trips, right?
Absolutely. And as a family, I mean, we enjoy lots of things. We enjoy being outdoors, hiking. We take a lot of road trips. So we've been on about 30 national parks in the last 3 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So what was your favorite national park?
It's a tough one to answer. That is a tough one. So, probably the most enjoyable that we've had is Zion National Park in Utah. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
That was a fabulous place. Just this year we were in Yosemite, which is beautiful, but there were some really breathtaking hikes that we took in Zion that were pretty amazing.
That sounds so cool.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for sharing.
Absolutely.
So then, let me ask you a little bit now, focusing more on Lake Park
Sure.
itself. So, what is it about Lake Park Elementary School that makes this school so special in this district?
Sure. And as I shared a little bit, I think the kindness and respect that the community and the kids have is really what's so special about it. And it's a direct reflection of the staff that we have here. I think there's a certain feel about Lake Park when you walk in. I mean, it is a very welcoming atmosphere, a very positive atmosphere, and we as staff members enjoy one another. We enjoy our students, and there is that kind of that give and take of just positivity within the building, and I think it's you can feel it when you walk in, and it adults and students just smile and enjoy spending their time here. And that goes from top to bottom. Everybody really is all on the same page here, and it just creates an amazing culture and a positive environment that people really enjoy being part of.
Yeah. Well, I know that's exciting for parents to hear that everybody wants to be a part of a school environment that is so welcoming. So I'm glad that they can find that here at Lake Park.
Most definitely.
And then, so last thing I want to say,
Sure.
Is there anything that you would like to share with incoming families, either new or returning, things to look forward to for next year?
Yes, and that's I'm excited about this. I know I go back to a comment from a parent from several years ago, kind of pre-COVID. In one of our fifth grade activities, we host an annual invention convention where parents come in and get to see and spotlight some of the awesome work that kids do. And a parent had commented to me that all of her friends in other school districts and schools around the area don't necessarily get to do those fun things, at their child's school. And our focus this year is to really try to bring that back, and not just at fifth grade. So each grade level is going to be hosting some sort of a parent showcase, whether it be after school or during the school day. We're going to try to work with parents in the community and their hours to get more families into the building to see all of the awesome work that kids are doing. So I'm really excited to offer that opportunity for our students to really kind of show off their skills and show off the cool things that they're doing, and then give our parents the chance to come in and really see not only their own children, but other students in the classroom and the awesome work that the teachers here at Lake Park do. So
that sounds so exciting.
Yeah, we're very excited about it.
It's going to be something that I know the families are going to love to be a part of. So,
I sure hope so.
So everyone, this is Mr. Dave Smogor, principal of Lake Park Elementary School. Thank you very much for meeting with us today.
Absolutely.
And stay tuned for more spotlights coming up soon.